Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where you can take some time to enjoy and understand body language and nonverbal communication. Learn how others speak without a word being said, how you can read their minds through signals they can't even understand. Such as ourselves, we act in a way we're not conscious of, and we signal to the world what we really think. Today's lesson is going to be regarding dating, and if you're interested in further signals of interest, please click subscribe. Thank you. So today's lesson is going to be about neck exposure. Exposure of the neck. Okay? It's primarily seen from women during dating and degrees of courtship, okay? It is a courtship gesture. It's very flirtatious and it shows trust and willingness, and we're going to delve into why. How you can identify it and what it signifies. It's very simple to pick up, and you'll start to see it in the world around you very soon once you apply this information, okay? So the exposure of the neck is a submissive signal. It's a submissive gesture, alright? And it shows a degree of comfort. Why? Because the neck needs to be protected for survival, okay? So once again, we're linking this to survival protocol, alright? So a lot of our body language comes from the responses we have in the face of a potential threat. How we react, alright? Signs of comfort, especially within dating, are very positive. Signs of comfort within business and the workplace and family relations. Signs of comfort are very beneficial in our general communication, you know? I will get into the technicalities in due time regarding why uncertainty and, the other side of the coin when it comes to potential threat and stuff can also be of benefit, especially regarding dating and arousal and seduction. But as it stands, this particular gesture does show a high degree of comfort, because if you were a potential threat, the individual would not be exposing their neck, their sensitive vital areas, okay? Now, what we're looking out for is not necessarily the neck purely. So consider a woman who has her hair tied back and her neck is naturally on show. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking at behaviours which accent the neck and attract attention to the neck. So one of my last videos, we discussed movement and how it's used to attract attention. So as a example, well, we'll go into quite a few examples, okay? So you're on a date with an individual, or you're speaking to a woman who you're interested in moving things along with in the workplace. As she's speaking to you, her hand comes up and she brushes her hair over the back of her shoulder, exposing the neck. That's a very clear signal. It's a submissive signal, and she's exposing her vulnerable side to you. So you're not a threat, and she wants to expose that submissiveness to you, alright? Simple. It's very alike the exposure of the wrist, which I will go into in a later video. So the neck and the wrist are both vital areas, which on the flip side are very sensual, sexual areas because of that, okay? They're full of nerve endings for survival protocol because they need to feel. Alright, they need signals, okay? So just stopping at the wrist exposure for one moment. So the hand comes up and brushes the hair in this example. Is the sleeve rolled down? Because if that sleeve is rolled down purposefully, exposing the wrist, then you've got two in one. You've got two very sensitive, submissive displays there. And that's a very... I would say it's a pretty evident display of sexual interest. Okay? So a further amplification can also be once the hand is up there, the hand starts to stroke the neck. So the neck is full of nerve endings, right? So, and we're speaking of the side of the neck, by the way. Not the front of the neck, not the back of the neck. We're talking about the sides of the neck, alright? I'm sure you've seen this behaviour before. The woman brushing her hair, accenting the neck, right? The sides of the neck. So her hand starts to brush the side of the neck, right? So not only is she exposing her neck, not only is she exposing her wrist, but the movement, as we've discussed, of the hand brushing on the neck is promoting attention to that area, to that sensual area. That's 3 out of 3. That's a winner. Okay? Now don't get me wrong, it might not be a winner. You might not want that sort of attention, but that's what's going on. Okay? What a woman can also do is she can tilt her head sideways to expose the neck. That's a different gesture in itself, but it's still a neck exposure. Alright? If she's to make eye contact with you during this process, she's telling you, possibly unconsciously, that it's directed for you. This behaviour has been triggered by you and your engagement and communication through whichever means, okay? It could be across the room, no words being spoken, but it's still communication between two individuals. This may be rooted within childhood as normal. We tend to have 2 roots when it comes to this non-verbal communication. We have it within our evolutionary hardwiring, our responses to potential threats, and our attraction to comfort and pleasure, and our childhood development. How we communicate as children and what lessons we learn through that process, how it moulds our brain. So a child may use this motion, the exposure of the neck, the movement of the hair to expose the neck, as a means of submission in a different way, to elicit a kind response from the parent, a manipulation of the parent, because that's what children do. Okay? So I hope this was of benefit. I hope you take some time to understand and look into things and analyse your communications with people and see these signs, because once you start identifying them, you're never going to stop. It's going to be internalised, and you will learn how to read minds through the unconscious actions and displays of others. I don't know if you're a man, but if you are a man, we don't pick... It's a bit of a meme that men can't pick up signals. Be one that can. Be a superhero. You've been listening to Everyday Superpower. Please press subscribe. Videos regular. Goodbye.